ירושלים, שבט אחים ואחיות שרק רוצים לחיות, להיות להבות, התקוות בעיניים פתוחות, בידיים אוהבות ומקבלות, ובידיעה שכולנו משפחה, באמונה שתוכנו יש מקום גדול לאהבה. כשהמים זורמים הם אותנו מובילים, מרומים מצבעים, כי מה שלי ומה שלך זוהי דרך חדשה, כשהשמש עולה על כולנו מהירה. אז עוד שנייה, הנה זה בא, כמו הנשמה, נשמה, נשימה. אני מבקש, כך ניתן מצב רוח לעלות ונתייאש. כשהשן עליי דוהר, בוער, אני לא מהר, לא סופר על העבר, מוותר, מרגיש את הרגע, פוגע במציאות, נוגע, שופע לא גורע, ותמיד יודע שאם לא נפחד, הראש יתחדד, לא ניפרד, נתאחד, כי מה שלי ומה שלך זוהי דרך חדשה, כשהשמש עולה על כולנו מהירה. אז עם הפחד בצד, שבט אחים ואחיות מאוחד. הנה, הנה
You ready?
I'm ready when you are.
Let's do it. מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is wonderful for those who are in person to see you. I am so glad that there are those who are on live stream watching us. Shabbat Shalom to you as well. I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Who's still stuffed from last week? Who still has leftovers? Does anybody still have leftovers? What do you have leftovers of? Everything? You had a 20-pound turkey for the three, yeah. So turkey sandwiches, turkey casserole. Oh gosh, Michael. I mean, this just in, Ben & Jerry's just made a new ice cream flavor.
Don't tempt Ben & Jerry's.
But it's called Chunka Chunka Gobble Gobble. Oh, gosh.
Oh, man.
We have a bunch of butter cookies left. Well, I'm glad that all of you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and it is wonderful for us to be together. It's December, and it's getting dark really early, and it is definitely winter, even though it's not till December 22nd. It's definitely winter. Isn't there, like, Michael, there's a difference between what astronomical winter and meteorological? Like, there's a distinction, right? So, like, we're in one of those winters, right? We are in meteorological. Where science is fun.
We're in weather winter.
We are in weather winter. So that's all good stuff. And one of the ways in which we can find warmth is as we warm our souls through music, as we warm our souls through our song, through the ability for us to be together and come together, as well as the warmth from our Shabbat candles. So at this time, I'd like to invite up Stephanie Perry to join us on the bima to light the Shabbat candles. And I think that we are having the Perry gang come.
I think I'm going to do it. These are short matches.
Oh my gosh.
Blow it. Blow it. Gabriel, blow it before you light something on fire. No.
Run, blow. There we go.
One, two, three.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu v'hadliknu shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Good job.
Amen. So, within our tradition, we turn to the Psalms to prepare ourselves for Shabbat. And one of those Psalms is Psalm 95. And Psalm 95 reminds us of the fact that when we truly use our voices, we not only are heard, but we are able to connect with each other in the divine in so many profound ways, all over the world around us, all over the natural world around us. So we are going to be singing Lahuna Ranana with both Hebrew and English. You can find the words to this particular version in your Shabbat booklets, programs, and we will join together for Lahuna Ranana. Niranina, yai dai 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 dai, Adonai, yai dai 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 dai, Naria, yai dai 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 dai. Yishenu, yai dai 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 dai.
Let us sing out to God, the maker of all, sure and strong.
Let all of creation from mountain to sea hear her song. Niranina, yai dai 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 dai, Adonai, yai dai 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 dai, Naria, yai dai 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 dai. Zor Yish Yai, dai, dai, da, dai, dai.
For all of the wonders and all of God's light, we rejoice.
So now let us listen with all of our hearts to hear God's voice. Neranina, yai lai 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 lai, Adonai, yai lai 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 lai, Naria, yai lai 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 lai. Tzor Yishenu, yai lai 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 lai,
Lai, lai, la, lai, lai, lai,
lai lai
la,
lai
lai,
lai.
lai.
So each and every week we find the ways to come together and greet each other, wish each other Shabbat Shalom. And every time that we come together, we find the ways to connect ourselves to one another and connect ourselves to the world around us and connect ourselves to God. And when we get to this mystical poem of Lecha Dodi, we are reminded that just like we have been waiting all week for Shabbat, so is God. Because it is at this time that God becomes one. The divine feminine and the divine masculine come together and become one. And we greet our Shabbat bride as well as greet each other with verses 1, 2, 5, and 9 of Lecha Dodi on page 138, 139. After verse 9, we will take the time to greet one another and wish each other Shabbat Shalom, and then we will all gather back together for our final verse of Lecha Dodi.
La, la,
La 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 Lecha Dodi, la 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 likrat kala, la 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 pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat mikabela.
Shamor v'zachor, v'dibor echad, hishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shmo echad.
L'shemu tiferet velitila. Yai lai lai, ya la 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 Lecha Dodi. La 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat nikabela.
Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki mikor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha.
Sof Maaseh Maksheva Tehila. Yai lai lai, ya la 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 Lecha Dodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat mikabela. Verse 5.
Kitor every תדברי.
כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. יאי לי לי, יאללה לה לה לי לך דודי. יאללה לה לה לי לקראת כלה. יאללה לה לה לי בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה. Please rise.
בואי בשלום, עצרת בעלה, גם בשמחה וסהולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
לי לי, יאללה לה לה לי לך דודי.
יאללה לה לה לה
לקראת כלה. יאללה לה לה לי בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה. We remain standing for Baruch, page 146.
Yalla
Lie, 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 yalla lie, 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 yalla lie, 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 yalla lie, lie, lie,
yalla
lie, 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 yalla lie, lie, lie,
yalla
lie, 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 yalla lie, lie, lie.
Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Lai, 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 yalla 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 lai, lai, lai. Please be seated. So on this particular Shabbat, I am fully aware of the concept of cycles. And some of that comes from the fact that, as some of you know, we had a death within our congregation this week, and we sent our love and goodbyes to our loved one, Barbara Lapidus, and I've been sitting with this idea of cycles. And the thing about cycles is that with a cycle, there is no real beginning and there is no real end, right? And if that's the case, if there's no real beginning and no real end, it means that we're always going. And what it also means is that in some ways, if we're always going, the concept of time that we have doesn't necessarily make sense either. Because we're trying to put fixity to something that is not fixed because it just keeps going. And what that tells me about cycles, or what that makes me think about, is the cycle moving us, or are we moving the cycle? And if the cycle is moving us, our job is to let go of the desire to control it, because the cycle is moving us. But if we are moving the cycle, our responsibility is to work together to continue it. And either way, whether we are moving the cycle or the cycle is moving us, we have that responsibility to one another. We have that responsibility to go through the motions with one another, because going through the motions is not just going through the motions. It's encountering the world. It's experiencing the world. It's experiencing each other. It's discovering new things about ourselves. And that journey is never ending. So even when a person dies, even when we die, we too are still part of that cycle. Because there is no beginning and there is no end. So when we have this prayer, Ma'ariv Aravim, in our prayer books that talk about the cycle of creation, of darkness to light, of evening to morning, we realize too that that never ends. So much so that the idea of Ma'ariv Aravim actually means to mix, because it's all mixed together. And when we connect ourselves to each other and we connect ourselves to the cycles of creation, we realize that we are all mixed in this ongoing active creation, and that participation never truly goes away. So we're going to turn to our Shabbat programs and turn to the words of Roll into Dark, which is one rendition of Ma'ariv Aravim. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Boreon balayla, golel or mipnei hoshech, golel mipnei hoshech. Borei Yom V'Layla Golel Or Mipnei Hoshech Golel Or Mipnei Hoshech V'Hoshech Mipnei Or Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. We rise together for Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated. Me'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha Bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha v'chayu advarim ha'ele asher nohi mitzavecha hayom levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech Ulshokbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu latotafot beinenecha uktavtam amizazot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeruhu basitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim leloechem ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etem meretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem. So one of my favorite things to do during this particular season is draw attention to the Micha Mocha. And when you turn to page 158 and you look at the first letter of every word on the very first line, you get Mem, Kaf, Bet, and Yud. What does that spell? Maccabee. When we talk about redemption, we always connect ourselves to the Israelites when they crossed the Sea of Reeds. But so too we can find the connection even in a more modern context with the legend of the Maccabees, where they too fought for freedom, but they didn't just fight for freedom. They fought for justice and they fought against injustice. And one of the many reasons why I think that we have this holiday, this festival of light, is because when we are able to call out injustice and work our way to finding the freedoms that we all deserve, that is what creates light within itself. So we continue with our words of Micha Mocha, page 158.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la lai lai la lai 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 lai. Mi
Mocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora oseh.
Nora tehilot. Oseh bele Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha bokei ayam lifnei Moshe Ze'elianu ve'amru Ze'elianu ve'amru Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot. Oseh feleh. Nora tehilot. Oseh feleh Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed.
So this is usually the time where I tell what type of story? A Jonah story, right? I regret to inform you that this week I'm telling an Ellie story. So, and this is as I figure out how to get this little piece of tape off the thingamajig. So, I don't know how it happened, but I have been able to successfully put Ellie down 3 times this week. And Ellie's at the age where she's no longer in the crib, she's in a bed, and we have this routine with her. The routine is that we play with her for 30 minutes, then we read a book, and then we go into her bed, and she lays in her bed, and she chooses something to listen to, and we say the Shema. And it's a routine that works really, really well. And because I usually am the one that is not with Ellie, Ellie was teaching me the routine. And we get to the Shema, the bedtime Shema, which transitions into Hashkivenu. And I started chanting the Shema, Shema Yisrael. And Ellie says, Daddy, no singing. No singing. I said, no singing? Why? Mommy sings Shema. I said, okay. Mommy sings Shema. I said, can I sing you something else? And she said, yes. And then I started singing, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. And she looked at me and she said, ah. And at that very, very moment, I realized something. We all find places and ways in which we find comfort. And for Ellie, the Shema is Michelle's. But for Ellie, when Daddy introduced something new, that became Daddy's. So much so that as I was singing the Hashkivenu, she got in bed, she put her blanket over her, and she really tried to fall asleep. And I wish I could say that was the end of the story, because it would have been really, really perfect. But then she rolls back over and she says, Daddy, read a book. And she goes through the thing that kids do, which is the kids are the most effective procrastinators. And then I say, roll over. And then she says, Daddy, hold me, sing me. My heart melted. We get in the rocker. and I'm doing Hashki Venu, and she's doing na 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 na, and then she's out. We all look for those moments of comfort. We look for all those places in which we're able to be comforted and where we are able to do the comforting. So with that in mind, we turn to those words of the Hashki Venu also in our Shabbat programs.
Hashki Venu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom, L'Shalom. V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
We are commanded to observe Shabbat each and every week, to create this sanctuary and time, this space for us to rest and renew ourselves. And we're taught that Shabbat is an eternity within itself. So we look at this day as a sacred moment that comes each and every week that we hold on to tight. We're going to continue with the words through music at the bottom of page 163. We're going to sing the words, "A thought has blown the marketplace away." We're going to then transition to the Amidah, where we will chant those words, Adonai Sefatai Tiftach. And then we will continue with a silent Amidah and pray silently until page 180. So keep an eye out for when I just do my amazing thing that I do. This is why I went to rabbinical school. Keep an eye out for it as we transition from one thing to the next. Page 163.
A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day. Eternity utters a day. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day. Eternity utters a day. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai. Adonai, Adonai, Svatai. Tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai Svatai Tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha.
Page 180.
Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. Yai da 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 da, yai da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, yai da 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 da, yai da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen.
We turn our thoughts to those loved ones who are in need of healing of body, of mind, of spirit. As a congregation, we turn our thoughts to Chuck Campbell, Bill Ferguson, Sarah Crocker, Nelson Petticourt, Natalie Wallach, Bernard Rubin, Margaret Ann Goldsmith, Al Jupiter, Judy Kunitz, Jaylee Weber, Ken Rhodes, Joy Suskin, Lynn Weil, Sue Chatham, Sarah Ballin, Michelle Shochet, Charles Simon, Amanda Solomon, Robert Berman, Fred Levin, Doug Castellano, Suzanne Horsley, Charlie Appleby, Wayne Copeland, Eileen Linton, Joan May, Jane Altschuler, Dee Berkowitz, Sharon Schuff, Rebecca Stewart, and Renata Limmer. If there is a name that you would like to add on this Shabbat for our prayer for healing, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. Baruch atah Adonai rofei et hakol. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings forth healing to all who need it most. May our voices be heard and give a sense of comfort and strength. Mishaberach can be found on page 371.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We continue on page 377 for the prayer for the state of Israel. Avinu shebashamayim, Sor Yisrael v'goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Smichat Keulatenu, Hagen alecha be'evrat hasdecha, ufros alea sukat shlomecha, Ushlach orcha v'amitcha l'rashecha sarecha v'yotzecha, V'taknem be'etza tova milfanecha, V'natata shalom ba'aretz, V'simchat olam le'yoshveva, V'nomar, Amen. Together in the English, O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. So this week's Torah portion is Parshat Vayetze. And it's within this Torah portion that we find Jacob alone in the wilderness. He's fleeing from his brother's anger. He's unsure of what his future may hold. And remember, his brother is angry because Jacob did what? He took the birthright. And in this moment of uncertainty, he lands upon a place. And he has this remarkable dream. A ladder set upon the earth reaching up to heaven with angels ascending and angels descending. And Jacob awakens and realizes that even in a moment of vulnerability, he might not be abandoned. He learns that there is a connection, a sacred ladder that binds heaven and earth, reminding him that perhaps divine values can dwell in the midst of human struggle. This coming week, we are also going to be marking International Human Rights Day, commemorating a pivotal moment in modern history. Each year, we are reminded of December 1948, where the United Nations adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR. And this is a declaration that arose from the ashes of the Holocaust, when our people and others were subjected to systematic state-sponsored dehumanization. Our world then stood at a crossroads, and it insisted never again. Because every human being possesses inherent dignity, and no one's worth can be bargained away. And for us as Jews, these universal principles are deeply resonant and they're familiar. Long before the Declaration of Human Rights, our tradition insisted on the dignity of all persons. We know that the Torah affirms every human being created b'tselem Elohim, in the image of the divine. We know that our sages teach that to embarrass or humiliate another person is like shedding their blood, because it strips them of their sense of self-worth. We may even know the teaching from the Mishnah that reminds us that one who destroys a single life is as if they destroyed an entire world, and one who saves a single life has saved an entire world. And these teachings underscore that human dignity is not a modern invention. It's a sacred trust that we have carried with us throughout the ages. Yet today, despite those affirmations, we see how fragile human rights remain. Across the globe, we continue to witness a resurgence of anti-Semitism, of racism, of xenophobia. We've been witness to the anti-immigrant rhetoric that treats those seeking asylum as threats rather than as fellow human beings made in God's image. Minority communities face persecution and violence. Freedoms of speech and religion, once assumed secure, come under fire, as there are those who clamp down on dissent. Economic inequality and exploitation persist, denying countless individuals their basic rights to fair wages, to shelter, to health care. From rising nationalistic ideologies to legislative attempts at silencing voices of protest, from hate crimes in our streets to online harassment and bigotry, so many of these hard-won rights are being questioned, are being challenged, or are being outright ignored. In this landscape, human rights is not just a legal or a philosophical matter. It's a moral imperative. And Jacob's ladder stands as a symbol for us, because we have the capacity to bring those divine values down into our world. It's not enough to just gaze up longingly, admiring this idea of human rights from afar. Because just as the angels ascended and descended, Connecting what is heaven and what is earth, we need to translate our highest spiritual ideals into action. So yes, whenever we hear language that reduces a human being to something less than fully human, whether it be on social media, in political rhetoric, in the public square, we have to speak out. Because that silence allows cruelty to fester and grow. We must take a stand and support those organizations that provide shelter to refugees, food to the hungry, legal aid to those wrongfully detained. Our voices need to be heard when we advocate for humane immigration policies, accessible health care, fair labor standards. And in our families, schools, and communities, we need to teach that all people, regardless of race, religion, gender, ethnicity, possess equal value. And education is a ladder of its own, guiding future generations to respect each other and look at each other as if they were encountering God face to face. And remember, our tradition warns us never to forget that we were once strangers in the land of Egypt. So we already know what it means to be cast aside, to be stripped of rights and recognition. Jewish memory then compels us from one generation to the next to ensure that no group is dehumanized, no individual rendered invisible. Because, friends, the call of human rights is the call of our faith, to bind ourselves to others in a covenant of shared dignity and responsibility. Now, upon awakening from his dream, Jacob came with a new awareness. He said, "Surely God is in this place, and I did not know it." So this Shabbat, as we reflect upon the UDHR's anniversary and the ongoing struggles for human rights, we must awaken as well. God's presence dwells wherever human dignity is upheld and wherever people refuse to tolerate injustice. So on this Shabbat, may we be angels ascending and descending the ladder, carrying divine ideals into earthly action, and may we, through our deeds, ensure that no human being is diminished, denied, or dehumanized. Shabbat Shalom. We rise together for words of Aleinu, page 586, as our ark is open. עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad. Please be seated. At this time, we take a moment to remember all those loved ones who are no longer with us, but will forever remain in our hearts and in all that we do. On this Shabbat, our congregation mourns the passing of Barbara Lux Lapidus, mother of Jeff, Brad, and Michael, grandmother of Gabby, Emily, Molly, Matthew, Madison, Zoe, Elizabeth, and Allie, as well as those who have recently passed, Thomas Fowler, and those whose anniversaries fall on this Shabbat. Belle Feigl, Louis Michael Mike May, Louis Berman, Louis Nathan Glazer, Morris Wharton Frank, Sol Catherines, Stephen Mark Gilbert, Michael Noah Gilbert, Hannah Pritzker, Philip Pritzker, Rhonda Baker, Rosalind Kilbanoff, Flora Schiffman, James Paul Mitchell, Caroline Bruick, and Seymour Goodman. If there is a name that you would like to add on the Shabbat, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. Zechronam Levacha, may the memories of each and every person that we have named aloud or within our hearts be for an enduring blessing. Supporting those who mourn and in the memory of the martyrs of our people, we rise together from Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, b'galav v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'olam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom mimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'ibru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn. May the source of comfort send comfort to all who are bereaved. And we say together, Amen. Amen. Please be seated. Couple announcements before we transition to Kiddush and Motzi in our closing song. While December is theoretically a short month, we have a lot going on. Tomorrow, Saturday, December 7th, 10 a.m., we're going to have Shabbat sing-along for our families from 10 to 10:30. I'm really, really excited that Stephen is going to be song leading with me this week, so it's going to be really, really fun.
It's going to be so much fun.
Eventually, I'll twist his arm to do more. Then at 10:30, congregational potluck brunch. This is an opportunity for all those who come to Torah study and all those who want to come to Torah study to come together with their young families and really have this intergenerational experience. And I promise you there'll be some good goodies and fun times. Then at 11:15, 11:30 a.m., depending on our schmooze factor, we will transition to our Torah study together. Next weekend, we have our scholar in residence, Rabbi Paula McDrill. Look at all the details that have been online or in the back of the Shabbat program. There are plenty of opportunities where we will need you to RSVP so we can make sure that we have all the things that we need. And keep an eye out for an email early next week for our Hanukkah celebration, which is going to be on December 21st from 5:30 to 6:30. We're going to be doing a congregational dinner. There's going to be chicken nuggets and fries for the kiddos. Kids eat free. And we're going to be doing a pasta bar for adults, followed by a Hanukkah sing-along with a variety of different Hanukkah songs. Candle lighting here in the sanctuary. Everybody bring your menorah. We are lighting every single candle. We had this whole thing, this whole conversation on the CCAR Facebook page. And it was agreed upon, light every candle, because we all need light in this world. And There is plenty of debate about whether you're adding or taking away lights in the first place, so let's add lights. And then there'll be some games and jelly donuts, and we'll be asking the congregation to bring in some latkes and jelly donuts to help contribute to the cause. So there's a lot of good stuff coming up in the next few weeks, and we're really excited and hope to see you there. What are you laughing at? Oh, basket full of groceries? And a baby. And George. And fire. So Evelyn is going to be teaching an after-service session on Shabbat culinary skills. What you need to get in your grocery to get a Shabbat dinner that doesn't taste like plastic or wood. So join her in the social hall for that activity. In the meantime, we're going to do Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei puri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uv'ratzon hinkilanu, zikaron le'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehila lamikrae kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'chartam, v'yotanu kidashtam, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uv'ratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Evelyn, when you go through the checkout line, can you please use our temple phone number so we can get points back? If you... Why not? If you are young and young at heart and want to join me for Motzi, now would be a great time as we transition. Somebody needs to get the bread.
Oh, man.
It's now on. Good try, though. Okay. Okay. I appreciate you being young at heart, Jeff. Do you want to join us? Okay. So, this is like super challah.
Ooh.
All right. Hands in. Okay. Blue 42. No, sorry. Wrong thing. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Bread.
Here. Here's the Edgar's. It's good. Just put it back over there. And you too will get some challah. We rise together for our closing song, Shalom Rav, on page 178.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lecho HaShalom Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lecho HaShalom Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol eit uvechol shah bishlomecha Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. For tomorrow? I'm gonna practice at home. Yeah, that's because I appreciate it.
How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to come together in peace and in unity.